And so this is a class of homeschool that's not in code and is currently, as the department has viewed it, sees that they're eligible for ESTO. We asked about, are you following them for attendance purposes? And then they weren't being followed. These are parents that are choosing their own curriculum. We had concerns that were not, in our minds, sufficiently addressed. How does a parent know what curriculum to choose in order for a student to go through 12 years of school and comply with the necessary units to graduate?
Assuring my colleagues over and over again that these funds would not be eligible for homeschool, driven in large part by the homeschool associations that didn't want any part of it. There was never any conversation, I can tell you in private conversations I had as well as public conversations about this, but was there ever anybody who came to me and said, okay, we want to put this language in there because we want to create this new category of student that can be homeschooled and can access $7,500. Is it going to be a policy in South Carolina to expand these funds to homeschool? How many families are accessing these funds now for this program?
The department had given to a reporter and indicated that there were 1,000.
10% fully of the program is being accessed in this, what I would call an unauthorized homeschool program.
We heard a good bit of testimony and we had a good bit of conversation about whether to include homeschool students in that first version. We came to the conclusion to exclude them. These are people who are saying that they're using the funds for homeschool. If what I've just heard is correct, that the department is using that language to get around what we've said is the intent of the law, like I think that's a deliberate effort to circumvent the law. If we've got an agency that is deliberately interpreting the law differently than how the legislature obviously intended, that's a larger problem. I'd like to hear some testimony. I think the department or somebody's going to have to answer some questions.
Intent was very clear. Intent was, I mean, there's not a question about whether we intended to do homeschool or not. We didn't. I just think it was unwise to put these families in this position without a very clear understanding that this was the intention of the General Assembly now.
And there is absolutely no doubt in my mind that the department heard you. They were familiar with the subcommittee that Senator Medfield talked about, in which I was a part of, which is right. The homeschoolers came and says, we do not want to be included. Now, I'd love to hear how they came to the conclusion that this is something that could be applied to.
I'll recognize Warren Smith with Palmetto Promise.
You know, Palmetto Promise has really been the evangelist for school choice going back to when we were founded. But our assumption was what we hoped was that the legislature was in essence saying there will be a fourth option, and it will just be simply the parents' ability to use this cafeteria to choose amongst these options.
Nobody ever said that. I just respect me. I love you, man. I think that's disingenuous. And the way that you've laid it out, I think it's deliberately misleading. And that's offensive to me, right? Because I really believe in this program. I would like for it to target poor kids. And now we've got all the freaking slots are done by people who are already in private school, and 1,000 people who are homeschooled. This sounds to me like it was a deliberate attempt to circumvent what everybody understood the law to be. And that's not cool, man. And I feel like I've been to see.